Hey, ¿qué tal, Spartans? Sean bienvenidos a una nueva transmisión. Ya estamos comenzando. ¿Cómo están, Spartans? Sean bienvenidos todos. Hay que esperar unos segundos a ver si llega un poquito más de gente. Mientras yo acomodo un poquito más acá. Es acomodar mi micro porque está medio chueco y ya está. ¿Qué onda, Natalan? ¿Cómo estás, miembro del canal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Se escucha bien la música, Spartans? ¿Quieren que le baje, le suba? Por favor, díganme. ¿Qué onda, Hello 5 Guardians? ¿Cómo estás? Anthony, un saludo. Alan Yami, un saludo, Spartans. Juan David, un saludo. ¿Qué onda, César Tutoriales? ¿Cómo estás, hermano? ¿Qué tal la cruda de ayer? Yo no soy de estar de fiestero, soy muy tranquilo en ese aspecto. ¿Qué onda, José Ariza? ¿Cómo estás? Un saludo. ¿Le subo un poquito? Bueno, le subo. Lo que quiero es que haya un nivel correcto, que se escucha bien mi voz, también la música. Gamer 101, ¿cómo estás? Un saludo. Rabax Rex, un saludo. Pues qué onda, Spartans, ¿cómo están? El día de hoy vamos a presenciar todos juntos este evento de Ubisoft Forward, en donde van a presentar y dar más a conocer más detalles de estos nuevos juegos. El juego que más quiero ver es obviamente Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Creo que es uno de los juegos favoritos que tengo para cuando salga la Series X, jugarlo enseguida, al igual que en Halo Infinite. Y tal vez lo traiga al canal, pero no sé qué juego salga primero. Me imagino que primero va a ser Halo, no sé si salgan al mismo tiempo, no tengo idea. ¿Qué onda? Hasta un saludo. Pero por ahí había escuchado, Spartans, que van a dar a conocer como que más gameplay de este juego. Y como sabrán, ya se filtró como 30 minutos, inclusive más, del gameplay, pero en el mismo gameplay aclara que es como que una beta, que todavía no está terminado el juego, así que muy posible de lo que vimos en el gameplay filtrado vaya a cambiar en el resultado final, no lo sabemos. César Tutoriales, mi micro ya está al tope, crack, no le puedo subir más. Le puedo bajar a la música. Escucha mucho la música, vale, le bajo. Ustedes díganme. Un saludo, SR Granado 2002. ¿Qué onda, Godfight? ¿Ya llegaste? Bienvenido, Spartan. José comenta, súbele a la música. ¿Qué onda? ¿Le subo? ¿Le bajo? ¿Ustedes qué opinan, Spartans? Porque varios dicen que le suba, que otros que le baje, así que ya no sé qué onda. Santiago, un saludo. El evento, Spartans, comienza, me parece, según yo, comienza dentro de media hora, pero va a haber un pre-show que va a durar como 2 horas o algo así, y después va a seguir el evento normal. No sé qué vayamos a ver en el pre-show, pero por eso quise comenzar antes. Comienza a las 12:30 hora de la Ciudad de México, o sea, dentro de media hora. E inicié media hora antes, pues para hablar con ustedes. Ya saben que me gusta comenzar antes, y ya saben que en el directo de Xbox que vamos a hacer el 23 de julio, vamos a comenzar desde las 8 de la mañana, Spartans, para tener como unas 2 horas para hacer algunas dinámicas con ustedes, para estar sorteando algunos regalos. Y de hecho van a aparecer en pantalla en el directo del 23 algunos códigos, los cuales ustedes van a poder canjear, y los que sean más rápidos se los van a ganar. Así que va a estar muy bueno, Spartans. Les recomiendo que estén desde las 8 de la mañana, porque desde esa hora ya vamos a estar comenzando a regalar algunos premios. El día de hoy no vamos a regalar nada, Spartans, debido a que estoy juntando todo lo que pueda para el 23. Porque ese día vamos a hacer historia con el evento de Xbox y con lo que vayamos a ver con Halo Infinite. Así que el hype está bastante elevado para ese día. Y quiero guardar todo lo que pueda para regalar ese día. ¿Ustedes qué opinan del directo del 23, Spartans? Yo estoy muy emocionado. Así es, Juan, desde las 8 de la mañana, hora de la Ciudad de México, vamos a comenzar nosotros. Si no mal sé, el directo de Xbox comienza como a las 11. No, creo que comienza como a las 12, pero igual va a haber como que un pre-show de 1 hora, o sea, a las 11. Algo así, pero vamos a tener como 2 horas para hacer algunas dinámicas y hablar con ustedes vía Discord y ya todo lo que hemos hecho. Sáquense las palomitas, así es, Ghost. Porque vamos a ver qué tal, nos tiene preparado Ubisoft. Este supongo que va a ser como que el evento sustituto de la E3 para Ubisoft. Ya saben que cada compañía de juegos está haciendo sus propios eventos. Ya hemos visto el de Play, hemos visto el de EA. El 23 vamos a ver el de Xbox. Hoy vamos a ver el de Ubisoft. Así que va a estar bueno. Oscar, estás muy impaciente por el directo. Yo también por el de 23. Rabá, estás en España. ¿Y allá qué hora es, crack? Masterflood, un saludo, Spartan. Gabriel Wilches, un saludo. Eso es todo, César Tutoriales. Gabriel nos ve desde Colombia. Yo soy de México. Ubisoft es chido. Sí es chido. Ubisoft saca muy buenos juegos. ¿A ustedes qué les parece esa idea, Spartans, que les planteo para el 23? Voy a tener aproximadamente unos... ¿Qué serán? Unos 6 códigos o 7 códigos, cada uno por decir algo de un mes de Xbox Live Gold, algunos de 2 meses, tal vez algunos de 3 meses. Y estos códigos los voy a ir poniendo en pantalla. Los voy a como poner unos, no sé, 10 segundos. Les toman screenshot o como quieran. Ahí ya sabrán ustedes sus jugadas maestras. Y quien sea más rápido, pues se los gana. Todo va a ser de Xbox. Todos los códigos y todos los regalos que vayamos a dar va a ser de Xbox. Y eso no es todo, Spartan. Van a haber más sorpresas. ¿Qué onda, Alice? Un saludo. ¿Qué onda, Elías? ¿Que te perdiste nada, Spartan? Estamos comenzando recién. ¿Ustedes qué esperan de Ubisoft, Spartans? Comenten en el chat, estamos leyendo sus comentarios. ¿Qué onda, Juan Santiago? Un saludo. Anónimo Lobo, un saludo. ¿Qué onda, Surver? ¿Cómo estás? Yo estoy bien, Spartan. Becos, ¿te gusta Far Cry? Sinceramente nunca lo he jugado, Spartans. Es que... Bienvenido, Nodre. Yo soy mucho de que cuando me gusta un juego, me quedo en él. Y me vicio super horrible. Y rara vez algo de eso. rara vez pruebo un nuevo juego. Entre mis juegos favoritos pues está Halo obviamente, está Minecraft, está Fortnite, están algunos juegos para celular, está GTA. Hay algunos, pero no soy mucho de probar casi muchos juegos. Pero me gustaría traer al canal los juegos que vayan saliendo, como por ejemplo Valhalla. ¿Sacarán GTA 6? No lo sé, Spartan, pero GTA no es de Ubisoft, es de Rockstar. Fabricio Armas, un saludo. Gracias, Granado, mejor youtuber de Halo. Eso intentamos, crack. No me quiero autodenominar el mejor, pero eso lo intentamos. Y hoy presenta el nuevo, el 6, Master Flood. ¿A qué te refieres con el 6? Ekchua, bienvenido, gracias por suscribirse. Suscríbanse, Spartans, y vayan dejando su poderoso like. Eso se los agradecería bastante, para que más gente se pueda unir al directo, para que más gente descubra el directo y se una a nosotros. Goku Teorías, un saludo. Jefe Maestro, un saludo, Spartan. Josué Hernández, un saludo. Así que si no mal sé, el evento comienza dentro de 20 minutos, el pre-show, solo que no sé exactamente dónde lo van a transmitir. Ya encontré varias páginas, entre ellas el canal de Ubisoft y la página de Ubisoft, pero su horario indica que comenzarán en el evento normal, pero el pre-show no sé en dónde exactamente lo van a transmitir. Si alguien sabe, pues se los agradecería que nos dijera para ir poniendo la página. No, dele un saludo. Daniel Isaac, un saludo. Gamer López, bienvenido. José Santos, un saludo, Spartan. ¿Algún día sacarán GTA 6? Eso me encantaría. ¿Y a quién no le gustaría un GTA 6? ¿Y saben qué me gustaría todavía más? Que hicieran un GTA San Andreas como remasterizado con las nuevas gráficas de hoy en día de la Xbox Series X, PS5. Eso estaría loquísimo. Me viciaría con ese GTA. Algo así como un Halo 2 Anniversary, pero de GTA San Andreas. Existen varios mods que aumentan como que la calidad gráfica y eso, pero nada como volverlo a hacer desde cero y darle estas nuevas gráficas. Nicolás Ruiz, un saludo. Sí está confirmado, pero no se sabe cuándo va a salir. Según yo no está nada confirmado del GTA 6. Según yo. Jamás he escuchado algo de que lo confirmaron. ¿A quién vas a invitar al directo del 23 y cuándo? ¿A qué te refieres, Gabriel? O sea, ¿a youtubers o a ustedes para hablar por Discord? Porque también voy a invitarlos a ustedes por Discord para que nos digan lo que opinan del evento y lo que esperan de Halo Infinite, que ya sabemos lo que va a venir. Vamos a ver más que nada un gameplay más a fondo de la campaña de Halo Infinite. Gracias a los que se van uniendo, Spartans. Quédense que vamos a ver el pre-show. José, no creo jugar el día 23. Vamos a estar haciendo otras dinámicas para que todos participen. Porque si me pongo a jugar, pues tan solo invitaría a unos 5, 7, no lo sé, los que admita el Halo 5. Pero creo que aquí todos participen, estén activos, para que todos pues nos divertamos mientras esperamos ese gran gameplay de Halo Infinite. Samuel, bienvenido. Gracias, Juan, por darle like, Spartans. Esteban Uzumaki, un saludo. Max 212, un saludo, Spartan. ¿Alguien sabe dónde va a pasar el pre-show de este evento? Porque yo tengo entendido que va a haber un pre. Vale, igual y me mintieron, pero según yo lo leí en la página oficial de Ubisoft. Aarón, bienvenido. Porque el evento normal, según yo, empieza como a las 2. O sea, dentro de... ¿cuánto es? 3 horas más o menos. Pero va a haber un pre. Marco Vázquez, un saludo. En el canal oficial de Ubisoft ya está programado. Es lo que había visto, pero según yo lo programaron para el evento normal, no para el pre. Pero bueno, ahorita les confirmo. Pero bueno, todavía hay tiempo, Spartans. Todavía hay tiempo, no nos aceleremos. Y recuerden, Spartans, que el día 23 de julio vamos a estar sorteando una Xbox One X totalmente nueva. Y para participar es súper fácil. ¿Qué onda, Jenny? ¿Llegaste tarde? No, llegas súper temprano. Para participar por la Xbox, tan solo vayan al link que les dejé en la descripción de este directo. Ahí entren y síganme en las redes sociales que les marca. Y eso es todo. Y obviamente estar presente durante el evento, porque ahí mismo vamos a dar a conocer al ganador y me voy a comunicar con él. Y si el ganador no me responde en un lapso de 10-15 minutos, paso con el siguiente hasta que uno me responda, ¿vale? Esto para, pues para, ¿cómo decirles? Para agradecerles el apoyo a los que estén aquí presentes en el evento. Y si el ganador está presente, pues se lleva la Xbox, así de fácil. Porque no sería justo que alguien que tan solo entre y participe sin apoyar realmente el directo y se lleve la consola. Pues no es justo para los que estén presentes. Por ejemplo, alguien que esté desde las 8 de la mañana viendo el directo y no se lo lleve, pues creo que no es justo. Por eso voy a hacer eso. Juan 15, un saludo. ¿Por dónde? Fácil, cuando ustedes entran aquí en el link que les comento, les pide un correo, ¿no? O registrarse con su cuenta de Facebook o de Google o algo así, ¿no? Y ya con eso la página tiene como que tu correo, tu contacto. Y ya cuando la página obtiene un ganador, automáticamente le manda un mensaje a su correo. Así que estén atentos también a su correo ese día, cuando anunciamos al ganador. Jenny, ¿vas a traer botana? Eso es todo, crack. Rodrigo, como les comento, tan solo entren en el link que les aparece abajo en la descripción. Síganme en las redes sociales y nos vemos el día 23 de julio aquí en Hello Games para ese gran evento. ¿Qué onda? Waxel Gómez, un saludo, Spartan. Estoy bastante bien. Aquí esperando el evento, aunque con un poquito de duda de a qué hora va a comenzar y en dónde. Mi juego favorito hecho por Ubisoft. No sé, hay bastantes. Es Sau, un nuevo miembro del canal. Bienvenido, Sau. Sau, bienvenido al canal Hello Games. Gracias por unirte como miembro nivel Grunt. Eso es todo, Jenny. ¿Qué te trajiste de botana? A mí me gustaría estar botaneando, pero no quiero que me escuchen comiendo. Creo que es algo un poquito desagradable, me imagino. ¿Qué onda, Alan? YouTube? Sí, soy Becos Peralta. El canal antes se llamaba Becos Peralta cuando tenía unos 20,000 subs, algo así. Pero a partir de los 40,000, 50,000, algo así, me cambié a Hello Games. Duber, bienvenido. Gracias por ser un nuevo suscriptor, hermano. ¿Qué onda, Robert? Un saludo. A ver, Ubisoft, Latinoamérica. Desde su cuenta no veo que ya esté programado. A ver, vamos a entrar a su página. Según yo empieza como dentro de 10 minutos el preevento. Pero la cuestión es en dónde, porque el evento normal creo que está por todos lados. Y en eso no me cuesta trabajo encontrarlo, pero el preevento es lo que quiero encontrar. Porque había leído que también va a haber un preevento y eso estoy seguro que sí. Surber, el directo del 23 va a ser por YouTube. Así es, hermano Spartan. Va a ser aquí en Hello Games en YouTube. Así que vamos a estar ahí desde las 8 de la mañana dándole con bastante emoción, con bastante hype, regalando algunos premios para ustedes. Así que aquí los quiero ver, Spartans. Entre las dinámicas que me gustaría hacer, Spartans, sería, por ejemplo, hacer una pregunta. Por ejemplo, por decir algo. ¿Cuál es el nombre verdadero del Inquisidor que vemos desde Halo 2? Y ya el primerito que me salga aquí en el chat, yo le tomo screenshot para que vean quién fue el primerito que me respondió. Y por ejemplo a ese darle algún código o algo así, algún premio. Estaría muy padre. Pero esa sería una de las ideas que tengo entre varias. ¿Cuándo sale el Halo 3 para PC? Sale el 14, pasado mañana. En Twitch, a ver, déjenme ver. Déjenme checar rápidamente Twitch. Ubisoft. Sí, pero creo que es desde su cuenta normal en inglés. Pero según yo también va a haber subtitulado al español, al menos, porque también lo van a transmitir Ubisoft Latinoamérica, en España. Y estoy segurísimo que lo van a traducir al menos. Pero aquí en Ubisoft, en su Twitch, sí aparece que está en directo, pero tan solo con una imagen congelada del evento. Pero no lo quiero ver aquí, ya que si no, no lo vamos a ver subtitulados ni nada. Pero Ubisoft no tiene cuenta de Twitch de Latinoamérica. Lo que estoy viendo. Tiene de Corea. ¿Por qué no va a tener de Latinoamérica? Estoy viendo que tiene de... Ah, vean, de Latinoamérica sí tiene. Bueno, vamos a verlo por Twitch. Y mejor aún porque así lo hacemos a través de mi Xbox. Dejen prendo acá el precioso. Pero gracias por ahí el que me comentó que estaban en Twitch. No vi quién era, pero gracias. Pero bueno, voy poniéndolo. Y cuando comienza el evento Espartas, no sé si ya saben que me gusta callarme, apagar el micrófono. Esto debido a que a muchas personas prefieren ver el directo sin más, sin que yo esté hablando. Y también porque tengo varios perros aquí en mi casa y luego son súper escandalosos que estoy seguro que molestan bastante. A ver, déjenme buscar el canal que acá en mi Xbox. Ok, ya lo tengo. Ahora tan solo déjenme lo paso al OBS. Aunque aquí tengo un dilema. Puse el directo a 720, 60 cuadros por segundo. Ya que creí que íbamos a ver el directo desde mi PC. Y para evitar lag ni nada de eso lo puse a 720. Así que si lo vamos a ver a través de mi Xbox, me gustaría ajustar el directo a 1080. Pero en directo no me deja, ¿o sí? No, durante el directo ya no me deja cambiar nada. Qué mal. Y no quiero detener el directo. O no la jugamos, no lo sé. Es que si le doy detener directo no es que termine el directo en sí, tan solo se detiene como que la transmisión de mi compu al directo. Pero lo puedo volver a reanudar. ¿Qué onda, Brandon Cruz? ¿Cómo estás? Pues a ver, voy a detener tantito el directo, ¿vale, Spartans? Para ponerlo en 1080, 60 cuadros por segundo. Aunque... déjame ver. Aunque sí será aquí donde pasen el pre-evento. Joaquín a 34 minutos. Según yo comenzaba a las 12:30. O sea, dentro de 4 minutos. Bueno, a lo mejor hay que dejarlo así. No hay que jugarlo. Déjenme pongo por acá esto. Pero bueno, 720 sigue siendo HD. Así que no pasa nada, no pasa nada. Oigan, Perkines, ¿saben si me corre el Halo Infinite en una PC con tarjeta gráfica de 1060 Super? Yo creo que sí, sin problemas. Obviamente no creo que en 4K, pero en 1080 yo creo que sin problemas. De hecho, yo también me he preguntado a mí mismo qué gráfica comprar para tan siquiera jugar y probar el Halo Infinite en PC. Pero no sé. Todavía no sé porque las buenas están súper carísimas. Y una 1660 Super pues es como que una relativa buena en su calidad-precio. Pero estoy entre una de esas o una GTX. GTX que era 260. Creo que sí, 260 Super. 2060, algo así. Bueno, Spartan, ya tengo acá el directo. En cuanto vea que comience, lo pongo, ¿vale? Ahorita tan solo está la imagen congelada, sin más. Así que no tiene mucho caso ya ponerla. Una 1060 de 6 GB como mínimo. podría ser, una 1060 de 6 GB como mínimo. Ya una 1050 Ti creo que ya no. O al menos si es que lo quieres jugar en 720 o menos. A 30 cuadros, al igual y te correría el 1050. ¿Te comprarías la RTX? No tengo tanto presupuesto para eso, Jenny. Aunque, ¿cuál RTX? Es que se me van los nombres de tantos modelos que hay de tarjetas gráficas. Y como no soy un experto en eso. Sebastián no te deja ver lo demás. ¿De qué, Sebastián? ¿Qué no te deja ver? Luis, ya son las 2:30. A mí me faltan 2 minutos, pero ya estoy viendo el directo, Spartans. En cuanto comience yo lo pongo, no se preocupen. José Santiago, sí, también participas, crack. Y ese es uno de mis dilemas, Spartans. Si comprarme con el dinero que he ahorrado la Xbox Series X, o comprarme unos buenos componentes para mejorar mi PC y jugar Halo Infinite desde ahí. Pero creo que me voy inclinando más por la Xbox. No sé por qué, pero me gusta más tener las consolas. Pero creo que es cuestión de cada quien. Jenny, ¿andas viendo Halo de Fall of Reach? Qué bien. ¿Quién sabe si aquí en Twitch vayan a hacer el pre-evento? Porque aquí su imagen congelada dice que va a comenzar a las 2 horas de la Ciudad de México. O sea, dentro de 1 hora y media. Ah, de hecho ya pusieron un contador. Y sí, dentro de 1 hora y media. ¿Qué hacemos, Spartans? ¿Dónde van a pasar el pre-evento? Porque estoy seguro que va a haber un pre-evento. Ghostfire, un saludo. A ver, déjenme, les pongo el directo para que lo vean. Pero si alguien me puede apoyar en buscar el pre-evento, se los agradecería para verlo. Vale, pues aquí están viendo el contador, Spartans. El cual es el contador del evento normal. Pero tengo entendido que va a haber un pre-evento, el cual ya debió haber comenzado, creo. Por eso no sé si me pueden ayudar a buscarlo para ponerlo por acá. El precio, esa es otra cuestión de los precios. Porque una Xbox te va a salir por muchísimo más barata que una consola, pero aunque una PC con características similares. Porque con la pura tarjeta gráfica te saldría casi lo mismo que la Xbox Series X. Y aparte tienes que agregar todos los componentes, que es la RAM, procesador, el gabinete, tarjeta madre, un buen de cosas. Y con una sola tarjeta gráfica buena, que sea comparable con la Series X, ya te viene saliendo igual que la consola, así que no se espartas. Yo me inclinaría más por la consola. ¿Qué onda, Mario? Un saludo. Jenny, tengo un monitor 4K que me patrocinó BenQ. De hecho, está por ahí el canal haciendo la review. está muy bueno. También por eso es que me quiero comprar mejor la consola, para que el 4K sea directo desde la consola y sin problemas, y no una PC que pueda correr el 4K sí o no. O sea, no sé si me entienden. Que esté seguro que voy a tener 4K en la consola, a un 4K inseguro de una PC. Glan, ¿estás desde la 1 de la mañana? Eso así no te creo, crack. ¿Dónde está el pre? Es lo que estoy buscando, crack. ¿Alguien me puede ayudar? Si no encontramos el pre-evento, o si tan solo fue un mito, tan solo pues yo creo que dejaré el video así, el directo, y nos esperaremos 1 hora y media, supongo, no lo sé. Pero estoy buscando con ustedes, pero no lo encuentro, qué raro. Juan Santiago, ¿cómo me va en mi país? Me va bien. Ahorita la economía pues sí está baja, pero tampoco es tan grave así como que, oh, no tengo que comer, pues tampoco. Pero es cierto que la economía pues sí se vino abajo. Juega Halo mientras... No quiero, Marcos, porque es como que mucho salirme del tema de Ubisoft. Y siempre que hago un directo de un tema, no me gusta salirme del tema e irme a otro. ¿Alguien ya encontró el pre-evento? Hello Games fue un rumor porque el canal de Ubisoft también tiene la cuenta atrás. A lo mejor sí haya sido un rumor, pero qué raro porque lo vi en varias páginas y muy de confianza, como... ¿Cómo se llama esta página? IGN. No recuerdo su nombre. Pero qué raro, Y lo vi en varias páginas que iba a haber un pre-evento. Sebastián, ¿también eres de México? Gabriel, ¿tienes el directo? ¿Por dónde, crack? ¿Por dónde lo tienes? Clan, Halo 4 y Halo 5 fueron, desde mi perspectiva, buenos, pero no tan buenos como los Halo anteriores. A veces lo confiable no es tan confiable. Podría ser, Muy buena frase. Por cierto, se me olvidó poner acá la actualización de miembros. Y de hecho ya hubo un nuevo miembro por acá que seguro esperó su nombre. Así que una disculpa. Ahí está. Actualizado. ¿La habrán cancelado? Tal vez, a lo mejor. A lo mejor la cancelaron. A lo mejor sí iba a haber pre-evento y lo cancelaron. Porque pues, no les miento, Spartans. O sea, en muchísimas páginas, ahorita mismo estoy viendo que iba a haber un pre-evento. Pero no lo encuentro en ninguna parte, solo encuentro que va a haber uno. ¿Crees que conecten Infinite y Reach? Conectar como... entre juegos, porque saben que va a haber una novela que se va a llamar Shadow for Reach. Y ahí va a ir el equipo azul en busca de algunos activos en el laboratorio de Halsey. Y obviamente lo que vaya a pasar ahí va a ser de importancia para Halo Infinite. Así que sí, de cierto modo sí va a haber un tipo de conecte entre Reach, el planeta, obviamente, y Halo Infinite. Que en 20 minutos sale crack. A lo mejor. ¿Qué Halo me gusta más? Me gusta más Halo 2, la campaña. La campaña fue hermosísima. Y en cuanto a multijugador, diría que Halo 5. Me gusta mucho su multijugador. No, pues no encuentro el prevento en ningún lado, Spartans. Fue solo un mito. Una leyenda. En IGN, bro, dice que en 20 minutos empieza el pre. Al igual y sí, pero la cuestión es dónde. ¿Dónde van a pasar el prevento? ¿Qué onda, Demonet? Un saludo desde tu casa, un saludo, Spartan. En Ubisoft Norteamérica está. A ver, déjenme checar. Pero desde YouTube. ¿O en qué plataforma, crack? Giovanni Rosas, ¿desde qué plataforma? Desde YouTube de Ubisoft América, igual está el contador, sin más. No hay ningún prevento por acá. Giovanni no, acabo de entrar en su canal y tan solo está el contador. ¿Qué onda, Adalberto? Bienvenido, Kevin Rojas. Pues vamos a ver, Adalberto, el evento de Ubisoft, donde van a dar más detalles sobre sus juegos. En YouTube, pero acabo de entrar en su canal y está tan solo el contador. Entren a su directo y van a ver Ubisoft Norteamérica. Van a ver que tan solo está el contador. No hay ningún prevento por ahora. Fuimos estafados, a lo mejor. A lo mejor fuimos estafados. No lo duden. Isaac David, bienvenido. ¿Qué onda, Eric? Un saludo. ¿Qué onda, Alan Rey? Un saludo, Spartan. ¿Cómo estás? Cody Cairo, bienvenido. Hace rato pusieron unos gameplays, pero ahora está el contador. Pues no tengo idea, Spartans. No tengo idea. Pero bueno, varios dicen que dentro de 16 minutos ahora mismo va a estar el preevento. No lo sabemos. Pues a ver si dentro de 15 minutos no pasa el preevento aquí donde lo estamos viendo o en ninguna otra parte. Voy a dejar el stream así tal cual. Y regreso cuando falten unos 10 minutos más o menos. Para que ustedes también vayan a, no sé, hacer alguna otra cosa que tengan que hacer. O si quieren podrían dejar el directo así en su celular abierto para estar viendo el contador. En Ubisoft Spanish comenzará. A ver, déjame ver. No, tampoco. También está el contador en el canal de Ubisoft Spain. También tan solo está el contador sin más. Lo que nosotros queremos ver es el preevento Spartan, no el contador. El contador ya lo tenemos. Cristian, pasa tu Discord. Ahorita no tengo el link, pero lo puedes encontrar en el directo de algún Inside de Xbox. Ahí siempre dejo en la descripción el link hacia el Discord. En IGN. Pero en IGN en su página o en YouTube, porque también tienen canal, ¿no? Sí, también tienen canal. Pero tan solo están poniendo como gameplay, o sea, es lo que teníamos acá. Lo que teníamos acá sin más gameplays. Pero bueno, hay que esperar. Ya falta poco para que den la 1 por acá en la Ciudad de México. Y hay que ver si va a haber un pre-evento. Sí, Juan 15, ya fui a ver el canal de IGN en inglés. Y su contador dice que faltan 15 minutos. Así que a lo mejor sí vaya a haber un pre-evento. Hay que esperarlo. ¿Qué onda, Oscar Peralta? Un saludo, ¿cómo estás? Hello Games, EA hará evento, ¿no? Ya fue el de EA, como hace unas 2 semanas, algo así. Vale, Jenny, me parece perfecto. Yo digo que toquemos y digamos que es una pizza. Oh, un nuevo miembro, Alan Rey. Gracias por unirte como miembro nivel Marine. Pero creo que tú ya estabas, ¿no? Como miembro. Pero gracias por ascender de rango, Alan. Ahora aparece tu notificación. 13 minutos, Spartans. ¿Qué onda, Luis Eduardo? ¿Cómo estás? Ya saben, Spartans, que los miembros del canal tienen como beneficio que aparezcan en todos los videos. Y a partir del nivel Marine los saludo con mi voz en todos los videos. Agente Gamer, un saludo. Vale, Jenny, te lo agradecería bastante. Los últimos rangos son para aquellos que tienen un canal de YouTube y quieren que los promocione. Pero desde el nivel Marine yo se los agradezco infinitamente. Obviamente cualquier nivel. Desde el nivel Grunt. César, un saludo. Estamos a 12 minutos para que comience el prevento. Supuestamente. ¿Qué onda, Jerick? Un saludo. Lo bueno es que seguramente lo vamos a ver en español. Porque Ubisoft en sus diferentes canales de inglés, español, latino, van a hacer directo. Así que eso significa que tan siquiera un subtitulado vamos a ver. Sandra Minor, un saludo. Alejandro Alvarado, un saludo, crack. Sergio 117, un saludo. ¿Qué onda, Group Players? Un saludo. The Master, ¿cómo estás? Un saludo, Spartan. Iré por palomitas, eso es todo, The Master. ¿Invitaste a Anto Clark? Es lo que me estoy preguntando, si invitar a youtubers. Y es que seguramente muy poquitos aceptarían, como 1 o 2 aceptarían. Group Players, eres mi ídolo. Gracias, Group Players. Pero vean, tenía en mente invitar a Mememan, a Lulia, Alan BCR, Anto Clark, a mi ex compañera Japón, tal vez algunos la recuerden. Pero no sé, con que tal vez estarán ocupados. César, ¿vamos a regalar golds? Claro que sí. Oh, vean, creo que ya empezó el prevento. Déjenme lo pongo.
Get into the competition and creativity of Ubisoft's latest release. So before I introduce my competitors below, let's talk schedule. Right now, we're taking a look at Trackmania. We're going to talk with the developers. We're going to play the game a little bit. We're going to show off all that this game has to offer. At 11:30 a.m.
A ver qué onda. Sí, miren, pre-evento.
Ubisoft pre-show.
Lo sabía, no estaba loco. Sabía que iba a haber un pre-evento.
The Crew 2 is going to share an update, and we'll see news from Trials Rising and a whole bunch more. Once that's concluded, it's going to be time for the main event, Ubisoft Forward, at noon Pacific Time.
Supongo que el prevento no lo van a subtitular, o quién sabe, pero el evento normal sí o sí lo tienen que subtitular.
And some new announcements as Ubisoft shows off the latest and greatest just for you.
A ver, voy a quitar el chat, ¿vale? Para ver bien.
We're taking an in-depth look in the post-show, so be sure to stick around for it all. It's going to be a fun day. Now, if you see a code on screen pop up, go ahead and enter that into Uplay on your PC for a chance to win a free copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Far Cry New Dawn, Trials Rising, or The Division 2. And without further ado, it's time to introduce the racers below. We're getting warmed up. Belinda Garcia, welcome to the show.
Hey Chris, thanks for having
¿Está bien con ese volumen, Spartans, o quieren que le suba? Cuando comience el evento bien, le voy a subir a tope, obviamente, para que yo me calle.
Slightly sideways. I mean, that's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's always a good time.
Fred Carmichael, I know that you are known to throw a flip or two. How's it been going out here for you?
It's not going so good right now, but yeah, we're making it down very slowly. Very slowly.
I'm sure Richard Stanford will be happy to hear the slowly part of that answer. Richard, what do you think?
Es que lo importante no es invitarlos, sino que acepten.
Yeah, you all take as much time as you need. Take it nice and slow. I would love that.
Taking the scenic route.
Viva
Well,
Halo,
you
así
know,
es, crack.
This downhill route is
¿Qué
definitely
juego es ese? Se ve
trickier than it looks.
simpático.
But fortunately, we're playing time attack here. This is the classic Trackmania mode for anyone who's familiar.
Eric, sí, me puedes
we're
agregar en Xbox. Creo que
on
sí.
the track for about 3 minutes, and we get to run it as many times as we can, trying to set the best time and trying to top those leaderboards before it is through. Oh.
It is dangerous, though.
It is.
Hills are unforgiving.
I feel like it reaches a point where you just decide to like throw the hammer down and like
Yeah.
at this point control goes out the window. I'm just gonna try to careen down as fast as I can.
Alan, YouTube, un saludo.
The
Your hands.
checkpoints.
Yeah.
That's all I need. I don't care what way.
I love how 3 of us have like 21 seconds right now.
I know we're really close.
Andrés, a cada rato estoy haciendo directos jugando con subs.
Run.
De hecho, síganme en Ono
You know what
Live.
they say.
Ahí hago
Slow is
directos al
smooth,
diario,
smooth is
literalmente.
fast.
Is that what they-
Aproximadamente a las 6 de la tarde, hora de la Ciudad de México, hago directos en Ono Live.
No big deal. Just got my fastest time. No big deal though.
Me encuentran como Hello Games.
17 seconds.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Set the time to
no.
be here.
It
I'm
may have
doing
been
very
luck.
well.
But
Yeah, it may have been luck. Yeah, it may. Oh man, now I'm feeling bad.
you didn't talk to your car enough.
Nah, you're right.
¿Qué onda,
Yeah, you know
Melina?
what?
Ventura, un saludo.
I
Gotta
should have
meditate.
meditated. Yeah.
Gotta
Give it a little
commune,
pat on the
commune
head.
with the vehicle as you were talking a big game about like
Luis Yo
connecting
Gamer,
on
un
a
saludo.
spiritual level with your car.
You know what? I heard that from some like other drivers. You know, it's best if you kind of really get to learn more about your car, but that doesn't seem to be working.
Maybe just
17 seconds.
17 seconds. Oh, you
Yeah.
even improved your time a little bit, Rich. Belinda, you're nipping at my heels here. This is good competition. I like this, folks. I like this. Don't.
Por cierto, ¿de qué es ese código que aparece en la pantalla? Dice código Assassin's Creed.
Okay, I can keep it in control, but then I'm going a little too slow. And then I
¿Será
start going
para
fast.
qué?
man,
¿Para
someone
PC,
get
consola?
On the,
Yeah.
the lid.
It's all over for me.
A ver, intenten canjear ese código, Spartans.
I'm trying the super fat.
No sé si sea solo de una vez
Oh, I don't think
o,
Oh, man.
o sea
this is
para
down.
todos
Do I have
que
one
quieran el
last
juego.
Oh
ace
man,
run
I'm upside
in the-
down.
no.
¿Qué onda, Master Edit? ¿Cómo estás? Gracias a los que se vayan uniendo, Spartans.
Literally upside
Estamos
down. Spot.
visualizando el preevento, pero ya vemos arriba el contador. Falta una hora para que empiece el evento normal.
How you got 17 seconds, Fred? Like,
Oh,
Y ya
Fred
saben
takes
que el
the
evento
time
normal
attack.
solamente lo van a estar
Nicely
subtitulando.
All right, now we're gonna mix it up and we're gonna check out some rounds. Let's get into that. Now, rounds
Strike Force, un
is
saludo.
where you race
Para
the same
PC,
track.
a lo
Everyone
mejor sí es
starts
para
at the
PC.
beginning at the same time and finishes. You don't get to like loop
No,
it
William, no
one
creo que
run
Noble
and
6
then
esté vivo.
Get points based on your placement. And then after a few rounds, I think we've got 3 per track here. Whoever's the point winner wins. Oh gosh.
no, you were
That's a wall.
zooming,
That's a
dude.
wall. That's a wall. That's a tree. That's a tree.
¿Qué onda, Miguel
Trees are
Ángel? Un
much more
saludo.
dangerous on this map.
Oh no!
Oh no, I lost.
There we go. I like it. I like it. No, don't tree. No, okay, cool.
Don't tree. Don't tree.
Don't tree, please. Belinda, you were zooming though.
I was zooming, but then the tree.
Estoy viendo el directo en mi celular en el canal de Ubisoft Latinoamérica,
Yeah, that didn't end well.
The cut through the
Creo
dirt.
que también
yeah, I feel like
está
Trackmania-
como lo
if you're
estamos
gonna take a
viendo
shortcut, you
ahorita,
better be airborne or something.
sin
right?
subtítulos ni nada.
Otherwise, you're scrubbing speed off badly.
That where you have
Alright.
complete control.
Oh, the wall, man.
I mean, I'm consistently fast as long as the track is just going in a straight line.
Yeah. Which works for me, dude.
It's not really the
Oh,
Trackmania
I
vibe.
cut through. I cut through. I cut through. I cut through.
That mantle is all yours, Fred. See, I think I'm figuring out what happened. The previous round, I talked to my car about going fast and not necessarily managing the bump.
Sí, en todos lados está.
the car's just like, oh,
sin
we
subtítulos
gotta
ni
go
nada por
fast
ahora,
now.
Spartans.
And I'm like, yeah.
Estoy viendo en
Gotta go
diferentes
fast.
plataformas de
Oh,
Ubisoft
commanding lead
Yeah.
here.
para ver si de casualidad el prevento lo van a traducir o algo, pero creo que no.
What's going on is that you are losing.
I'm never making that turn. I don't
No!
know how you
Oh, that's it.
Oh, cut through.
It's like one false move.
All right, Fred, I see you.
There we go.
I'm not too worried though, because
That's true. I don't know if I can
Got the
actually
points.
catch up.
Got the points.
right now.
you got 10 points, Fred.
So,
All right, let's
Enjoy
see. What do we got?
Hey bro, en caso de que ganemos, ¿cómo te responderemos? Surber, en el sorteo del Xbox One X, que vamos a sortear el día 23 de julio aquí en este canal. Para participar, si es que ya estás participando, recordarás que entraste en el link que está debajo de este video. Y entraste y para participar te solicitó registrarte. Al registrarte, esta página ya tiene tu correo. Y si es que tú sales ganador, la página te notificará con un correo de que tú ganaste. Y obviamente a mí también, como creador del sorteo, a mí me va a dar el correo de quien habrá ganado. Así que el que gane ese día va a recibir 2 correos, uno por parte de la página, otro por parte de mí, para que se comunique inmediatamente conmigo ese día. Y así es súper fácil. Minecraft o Fortnite. Está complicado, pero diría que Minecraft. ¿Qué onda, Luis? Un saludo. ¿Qué onda, Brandon Cruz? Hola otra vez. Falta 1 hora, Spartans, 1 hora para el evento. Así que no sé, tal vez les deje con el pre-evento, Spartans, sin hablar. Y ya a 10 minutos volvemos. ¿Qué les parece? ¿Qué onda, Iván Muñoz? Un saludo.
Alright, you can tell when I'm making not a great maneuver when my voice.
Oh, Rich, hold on, where you going?
Así es, Andrés, para celebrar lo que vamos a ver de Halo Infinite, vamos a sortear una Xbox One X, iba a decir Series X, pero no, una Xbox One X totalmente nueva. El día 23 de julio en el directo aquí en este canal. Vamos a comenzar desde las 8 de la mañana. Esto para hacer diversas dinámicas donde van a estar ganando algunos otros premios. Para hablar con ustedes vía Discord, para comentar bastante acerca del evento, de la campaña de Halo Infinite. Y van a haber bastantes cosas que hablar, Spartans, así que allí los quiero ver.
At the top, battling for that top spot here in our second round competition. Obviously, the stakes are high.
Oh gosh, I messed up.
No.
Sube videos en Becos Peralta. Becos Peralta es mi segundo canal, Spartans, por si quieren ir y suscribirse. Y sí, ya he estado empezando a subir poquito a poquito más videos, pero sí he querido ser más constante ahí. Pero ahorita con toda esta información de Halo Infinite, pues he estado muy activo aquí en Hello Games, por eso no he tenido tanto tiempo de crear videos en Becos Peralta. Pero sí voy a comenzar a ser más activo por allá. ¿Qué onda, Aaron? ¿Viniste temprano? Así es, Spartan. ¿Llegas temprano? Así que bueno, Spartans, voy a regresar dentro de unos 40 minutos aproximadamente. Los dejo con el pre-evento. Ya saben que el pre-evento al parecer no lo van a subtitular, pero el evento normal sí. Así que los veo cuando falten unos 10 minutitos, ¿vale? Mientras, pues los invito a que dejen el video abierto. Denle like al directo. Si quieren ver el pre-evento, pues véanlo. Así que nos vemos en un ratito, ¿vale?
I like it. Belinda, I think you're out in front of me. Could you please, like, not? Is that okay?
I'm trying to give you a little... No. Right on my tail.
We're all pretty close. Oh, crap.
We are.
These little bumps, big bumps in this track are very hard to maneuver over.
Oh, this raise, it's like, it's banked if you hit it from one direction, but then if you go over the hump, it's gonna be a little trouble.
You just gotta believe. You just gotta believe.
Man.
Keep it going.
All right, Chris and Belinda, I'm gonna need you both to beat Fred, please.
No.
Oh, you're gonna recruit us?
Yes.
You're right.
Now we're all
just gonna
teaming
go
up.
flying off the track right at the beginning here. Wow.
The pressure's
I mean, his gamertag is UB-Rich. Is that a promise if we comply?
Yes, it absolutely is.
You will be rich.
Absolutely. You will be rich.
Be rich in satisfaction that Richard won, I guess.
Yes.
I want to take a number 1 spot at least once during this dang broadcast.
I'm happy with 3. I like the bronze. Happy with the bronze.
is up there.
Yeah, I don't know how he's doing that.
Ooh, it's just, I told you, you gotta talk to your vehicle. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
right. Game
Oh
remote
man,
now.
that's a
Bad one.
close one. I don't know. This could be a close one.
These points are adding up. That was a big bite. Rich down in third.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
No.
here we go. This is gonna settle it.
Slow and steady in the back. Taking the scenic route.
Take a scenic route. Take our viewers on a lovely journey here. Oh gosh. Ooh, little hippity hop. Think about those. Just think about those hippity hops.
Too scared to go off the track. I don't know how you guys avoid it.
Fearless.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I mess up right there every single time.
I'm getting quiet because I really want to get a first place finish on at least one of these races.
Oh no.
Great.
Third,
That's so bad.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh man.
It's
in
worse
the
when you
mail.
think.
I can't believe I messed up again.
Ooh.
I did it again.
Yes. Yeah, I was never really worried. I was never really worried. I always knew how this
You're
was going to
sweating.
end.
His palms are sweaty.
No.
Oh,
I don't like
live
that.
rank in there. UB Rich wins the match. GG.
GG's.
Nicely done. All right, folks, that's going to bring our little Let's Play kind of competitive segment here to an end. I want to thank y'all for participating. Belinda, nice work out there.
I tried. I just love the scenery. I was just taking my time.
Listen, it's fun to get out there in a fast car and just do some things.
I agree.
Fred Carmichael, close, but no cigar this time around. Are you plotting your revenge already?
I'll get him next time.
Richard, is there going to be a next time, or are you just going off into the sunset with this W?
I mean, I'm definitely driving off into the sunset, but even if there is a next time, I don't think he's going to beat me.
And thus a rivalry is born, or maybe continued?
Yeah.
Yeah, continue, definitely.
Thank you all for joining so much. Folks, coming up next, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the map editor and some of the creation tools in Trackmania. But first, let's do a little schedule check-in. After our Trackmania segment here, it's going to be the Ubisoft Forward pre-show at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, where we'll be seeing some AI teammates coming to Ghost Recon Breakpoint, getting an update from the Crew 2. Trials Rising will be showing off a fan favorite, and we'll see a whole bunch more games on display. Then at noon Pacific time, when that timer runs out, it's going to be Ubisoft Forward, the main showcase, Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, some new announcements, and more. Don't want to miss that one. And after it's over, stick around for an in-depth look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's all coming up here shortly. But now I've got Augustin De Vita, producer at Ubisoft Nadeo, the creators of Trackmania, joining me to talk about creation in Trackmania. Augustin, welcome.
Hello, Chris. So happy to be here.
Oh man, exciting times for you. Your game has just launched. People are out there racing in droves. How does it feel?
It feels great. I mean, it just feels great. The game is really, really good. It's really an evolution of Trackmania, and we couldn't wait for it.
And also, folks are out there creating stuff. We see right here, we're seeing some map creation sped up. We got a little time-lapse thing pre-prepared for us here as we talk through the map creation mode. But I guess give us like an overview starting off, Augustin. Like, what was your team's goal when like putting these creative tools in the hands of players?
So we always want the tools to be easy to handle, and the big issue we were facing that there is too many blocks in the game. There is 1,600 blocks in the game actually, and so we had to organize all the tools and to organize the new features. And he's doing a great job right now because he knows what he's doing. But when you start making the first map, you really don't know where you're going to. It's really hard to get to. And,
when you say blocks.
Really
Sorry to interrupt, but when you say blocks, you just mean all these little pieces that we're seeing of track, planted this way, that way, this terrain, that terrain.
Yeah, that's how it works. Every piece of the map is what we call a block. So it's some size, and you can go like diagonal. You have roads, you have decoration, you have checkpoint, start, finish, you have boosters. And all of this makes a map, so there is so many blocks that there is an infinite combination possible in the map editor.
And there's also trees, as I know from personal experience.
Yeah, you can get into them pretty quickly in the game.
So we're seeing here the player's not just sort of creating the map. They're also like, okay, I added a little bit, now I'm testing a little bit, now I'm adding a little bit. That testing is kind of like the immediate feedback on, is this working, is it not, is this the feel I like, is it not?
Yeah, you always have to test what you're doing just to see if the curve is right, if the speed is right. And we added some tools for that. So, for example, when you test and then you come back to the game, you have your ghost to see what was your speed at this time and to try to reproduce or to do better than him. So you can try every part of the game and get really good in really good map for the players.
Interesting. Okay, so when you're starting out, obviously we're seeing someone with some map creation skills. But when players are starting out, are there some tools to help them out? Is it pretty? What do you recommend in terms of like, okay, when you're starting out, just try to make like a simple shape, or try to just put in a sick jump, and that's good.
Yeah, well, in the free version of Trackmania, there is what we call a simple editor. So there is a simple editor and advanced editor. What we're seeing now is the advanced editor, so with all the tools, all the blocks. And the simple editor is like a best of blocks. So the blocks you need to do like a simple track, but a good one. You can at least make a good one. And I recommend to start with this. And then after you can get to the advanced editor and make crazy stuff like he's doing right now.
Nice. Now, is that advanced editor pretty akin to what the Trackmania team uses to create the actual tracks in the game?
Yeah, it's exactly the tools that we are using every day to make the track. Every tool we put in the game, we give it to the player as well, so they can make the same track as us.
Nice. So you can challenge people to beat you at your own game a little bit?
Yeah, and sometimes they're better than us. They do tracks that amaze us. I mean, I played some tracks that I always remember because it was so great.
Well, that's when you hire them for the team, right?
Yeah, it happened. We hired, well, the guy doing the video right now he used to be a player and he's still a player, and now he's working with us. And we always have like pro players coming into the team and designers and level designers.
That's very cool. So, I mean, we're talking here about the Trackmania community then. There are people out there going to be creating these tracks. If they're creating the tracks, they want people to race on them. How do they get folks in the seats, to race on their track?
It's really simple with the next Trackmania, because now once you're done with your track, you can just put it out there on what we call a server review, a map review server, and they can, like, everybody can come up and test your tracks. They can rate your tracks, and when they rate it, they give it, for example, 5 stars. Afterwards, if your track is good for the players and we decide it's good, we're going to add it at what we call track of the day, which is like the front page of the game, and everyone is going to play it for sure. Every day there is a new track made by the players.
Nice. And so there is also that like server where can any player just kind of go in and be like, let me see what new creations people have today, and then rate them. So if that's your thing, if you're looking maybe for inspiration or just looking to try some wacky new tracks, that's a spot people
exactly.
can go.
That's why I do. I always go to this server like every day and try new maps, even if nobody is like pushing a map right now. There is always maps pushed earlier in the day, so there is always tracks to test and new tracks to test. It's really great.
Nice. And so if you get that, so you get your track in there, you get enough stars, get considered by the team, and you select them as a track of the day, then people are racing it, and there's some incentives for people to get on that track as well, right?
Yeah, every day there will be what we call a competition, a daily competition on this new track at 7 p.m. CST, and this competition rewards with what we call trophies, and those trophies gives you like a rank in a global rank in Trackmania. So every day you have to come, if you want to come to compete on this track, and then you earn trophies and you get better in the game, and you can rank up in the global ranking of the game.
Ah, nice. And speaking of competition, we are going to be seeing some of the top community racers take on this very track here in just a few moments, folks, in our next segment. Right now, we're talking with Augustin about creation in Trackmania. And so far, we focused on the map editor, the track creator that we're seeing in kind of a time-lapse fast forward here. But there's also other creative outlets. I mean, you can customize, for example, the livery on your car.
Yeah, what we call skin in Trackmania. So you can create any skin you want with what we call a skin painter, and you can share it really easily with the world within clubs. In just one click, you can find new skins that you like, and you can apply them or add them to your favorites. It's really changing game for Trackmania. It's never been so easy to change skin and discover new skins.
What's your approach here, Augustin? Do you like pick one you like and stick with it for months, or are you like switching it up every other day, mixing it up?
Yeah, I'm switching every day to a new skin. I just go to the list and see, oh, this one is nice, so let's apply it, and then I have my skin in the game. So every day I change skin.
Excellent. Yeah, it's so fun to see what people come up with, and I imagine this is also something for you. You know, these are the creation tools you use, your team use to create the tracks, the skins, etc. But you know, to a certain extent, you give the tools to the players, they're going to come back and surprise you.
Yeah, they're always like surprising us with really great new invention. I mean, they can create mod as well, game mods, so they're going to create new things every day, and every day it's blowing us.
And one of the things that I have really enjoyed, you know, even when not playing Trackmania, is seeing some of the like highlight reels people put together, because as we'll see a little bit later on, and as you folks who know Trackmania know very well, Trackmania tracks can get pretty wild, and the kind of precision, the like just like excellent slick like drift precision that people can display looks really cool, and you have some in-game tools to help people showcase that stuff.
Yeah, on every track you can save your replay, and then you can use it to make your own videos. So this tool is as well as the tools that we're using to make trailers, and at the same time players can make their trailers. They can add up, I don't know, 1,000 cars on the same track to do like a wave, what we call a 1K project. And it's really cool to see what they can do with that, because they can change the light, they can change the skins, they can change the color, they can display text in the editor, and it's really, really great.
Well, there we have our completed track. Don't forget to save your tracks when you're creating them, folks. And we'll be taking a look at this. There's an autosave. Excellent. Yeah. Augustin, you put a lot of people's hearts at ease just then. We'll be taking a look at that track in action in just a few moments here. But Augustin, before I let you go, I wanted to touch base on just kind of again that community aspect of, you know, how do people find these creations? What's a great way? Like, there's the club system that sort of allows people to connect to different clubs of friends, or maybe this club focuses on certain types of races, and et cetera, et cetera. Just give us an idea of how people are going to share these creations and discover people's creations.
Yeah, so in the game there is what we call clubs, and you can create or join any clubs you want, private, public, with friends, for example, or just a streaming community within a club. And within those clubs, you can share skins, you can share maps, you can create what we call a campaign, which is the same tool we're using to create our own campaigns with 25 maps. And you can create also events, so people can gather around and use the same skin, for example, have a club tag, and compete within each other on leaderboards, and share everything they can. They can also share videos, for example. It's really
Excellent. Great. Well, it sounds like there's lots of tools for folks to get creative, to share those creations, to discover new stuff, in addition to just racing and trying to beat the tires off of each other.
Yeah.
Excellent. Augustin, thank you so much for joining us to talk a little bit more about Trackmania. Folks, remember, Trackmania is available now. Download and play it for free on the Epic Games Store and on Uplay. Augustin, thank you for joining us, and congrats.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great.
All right, folks, we've got some competitive play coming up here just shortly, but first, another schedule reminder of the order of events today. Our Trackmania showcase continues until about 11:30 Pacific time. Then it's the Ubisoft Forward pre-show. We'll be taking a look at AI teammates in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, getting updates for the Crew 2, hearing from Trials Rising about a special new track for fans who like long rides, and a bunch more. Then at noon Pacific time, it's the main event, Ubisoft Forward, with Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and more from Ubisoft's upcoming lineup of games. Stick around immediately following the show for a deeper look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And for now, it's back to the track. Joining me now is Omar Ben Abdallah, live producer at Ubisoft Nadeo, to talk about all the ways that Trackmania can get a little more competitive. Omar, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, and you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to see some skills. I mean, not that we had no skills earlier. I'm just this is a whole different level, right? Because these are some of the top racers in the community.
Yeah, what we did basically is invite the 6 or 7, I think, best players of the closed alpha we organized, and we'll be seeing them racing in rounds mode, so they all start at the same time, and the fastest guy win.
All right, who's your money on here at the outset?
I'll just take the easy pick and go with Shorty since he won that round.
There he is. He's there, top of the top pops right there.
Yeah.
And keen-eyed viewers will note this is the track we just saw being created, and actually the 5th place player, I think, in that round is the one who made it. So, Tona, you can step it up. I believe in you.
Probably can win at least one round.
I believe it. So as we watch them compete, I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about, how people kind of like take on new competitive challenges in Trackmania. Because, right from the get-go, you start playing, there's the inherent competition of racing. You're trying to get a better medal, a faster time, and you're racing against your friends. But what are some of the other ways people can kind of get into that broader competitive scene?
Basically, what we try to do is to design features that will be good for any kind of level you have on Trackmania, whether you're a professional player or just someone that wants to discover the game and get better each day. So you'll have a lot of new ways to train and get better at the game, gaining more medals, maybe reaching the gold medals on all the maps of the official campaign, which is a great achievement already. You'll be able to play against VIPs, ghosts, which means that you'll be able to compete against yourself or against your favorite streamer, against your friends. So yeah, quite a lot of possibility to get better at Trackmania.
Nice. So I like the streamer touch, because then if you're watching them in the chat, say like you can kind of see when they've laid down the time, and then go take yourself to the track and see how you stack up.
That's good. Like that's a feature we love at the studio, because you can compare yourself against someone you would love to play against and maybe beat him and be happy with that.
Excellent. Shout out to Tona, who did take that second win on the track of his own creation. Nicely done. So we're on to a new track here, and see, that's the kind of move that when I'm flying really out over the over Oblivion.
We all did. Like it took us some time to get used to those new way of driving.
Yeah, and so these folks have played a little bit already, but in terms of what they're seeing, what competitive players are seeing in Trackmania, what's kind of some stuff that's going to be a little bit, oh my goodness, no way.
That's scary. It's okay, that's only the warm-up.
It's only the warm-up.
Yeah.
No wonder they're sending it. No wonder.
Yeah.
In terms of like, okay, so you've done your sort of like, you've done your solo competition. You want to like maybe compete with players on a broader scale, seek out folks who race around the same time as you. Like, what are some good ways to do that?
Well, what we have currently on the game will be daily cups, which is something completely new for Trackmania, where you'll be able to compete against every player in the world which wants to participate every day at 7 p.m. European time, and basically you'll be able to see how good you are on the track of the day and compete against everyone in the world and see how good you are against each other. Then obviously you have the Nations League, which will happen each week, where you'll be able to represent your country and see which country is the best basically each week on the game. And then the Open Grand League, which is a great way to feel the pressure of the professional players, because you'll be playing on the same maps and the same format as the Grand League. So you'll be basically living the experience of a professional player by playing the Grand League. And maybe if you get good, maybe at some point you'll be joining the Grand League and play against the 16 best players in the world.
Oh my goodness! Well, we see Grand League plastered all over this track here. That's the sort of highest level of Trackmania esport.
It is basically what we have on the Grand League is the 16 best players in the world. You cannot have anyone better than them, and we just put them on a special format that we designed, where everything is possible until the end and the last second of the last track. So it's really great to see, and we're excited for the next season, which will start on September.
Nice. So in September, more Grand League action coming your way. But, you know, there's a lot of competitive space in between the tippy-tip top for you to get involved. And is that something that, you know, in terms of like, I just booted up Trackmania, I've raced a little bit. Is that going to be easy for players to find? What's the way to get into that?
Yeah, you'll have an in-game menu which is called events, and basically you'll be able to check out the events you want to play maybe during the week, and it will be also easy for the people to create events through the clubs. Well, you'll basically be able to create an event in less than 2 minutes and decide which map you want to have, which kind of format. So we made everything easier for everyone on Trackmania.
Nice. So that can even be just you creating the events to just play with your friends or your classmates or whatever else. Yeah. Nice. And so these clubs, this is kind of a way, like clubs are also a way that people can get into, you know, finding people who, you know, like to race at the same time again, or, you know, are friends or are connected through different ways. And the clubs can be kind of any size, right?
Yeah. You can have a club which is completely private and where you play only with your friends or your roommates, classmates, or you can just have a public club which is available and joinable by everyone, and just have fun with a lot of people doing a lot of events and organizing a lot of content.
And maybe just a club that focuses on huge jumps like the one we just saw there.
Like we see, only jumps maps and that will be quite great, I would say. Quite fun also.
This is a pretty close match.
Actually,
the
we
top
have
leader only has a few
match.
points ahead, so I like it. Thanks for recruiting these folks into the action here, to give us a look at some real speedy, real tight turns.
Yeah, you can see how good they are by their drifts and how well they know the maps, obviously, since they've been playing the alpha for I think a bit more than two or 3 months now. So they're getting used to the game and they're playing really good compared to what we do.
I wish I had watched them play before our session earlier, but that's all right. For the future,
you can play against their ghost if you want to learn the map, actually.
That's true. Although, you know, can you really learn from a ghost if it just screams out ahead of you so fast you can't even see it?
Just try to follow it.
I'll work my way up. So these community events, this kind of this stuff that is organized through clubs, so it's organized through clubs, which is kind of organic, and players all around the world can make that happen. But you at Nadeo are also sort of curating stuff and experiences and events for players to get into.
Yeah, what we try to do is to have a mix of community event, where basically we have players organizing event. That's something that is there for more than 14 years now on Trackmania, so we love to see that. We love to see community creating content on our game. We also organize ourselves, our events through the Grand League, the Daily Cups, the Nations League, and things like that. So it's kind of a mix of trying to get content for every kind of players, and also a way to be able to create content and events, whether you're a great player or just want to have fun with your friends.
Nice. Wow. The time separating the top finishes.
That's really great, and that's really fast.
Is very, very tight here as we move on to, I believe, our fourth and final map of this competitive section.
And it's still really close.
All right, folks, it's down to the wire. Omar, still believing in your racer Shorty out there?
Yeah, I think he's first. So
I mean, came in first that race.
Yeah, and that's a great map. Everything can happen there. So might be someone overtaking Shorty.
Do you like that kind of map where, I mean, it's exciting, right? Because like dramatic stuff can happen, but also it's a little scary. Like you can just fly off the track and like,
lose everything.
It's all gone.
you can go from first to last just basically by doing one mistake and one short mistake. So that's pretty exciting for the spectators. It's not that fun for the players, obviously, because you don't want to lose everything on one turn. But yeah, that's how you handle pressure on Trackmania.
Yeah, you know, at some point, like fun becomes like, oh, it's the thrill. You know, you're risking a lot more for the bigger payoff, right?
Yeah.
What do you call this kind of road surface here? That's like a hill in the middle. I was trying to figure this out earlier.
Actually, we do have a name, but I don't like to use it. I just let people call it as they want. I'm calling it a different way in French, obviously.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Basically, everyone can name the road as they want, and there's many ways to say it, like select the road we are seeing right now.
The language of racing.
Yeah,
it takes many forms.
yeah.
All right, so we're watching the competition play out here. Once people, Trackmania is out now, free to download and play. What would you recommend in terms of like, okay, I just want to get into the competition against other folks. I want to challenge myself right out of the gate. What's the best way to get that started?
To be quite honest, the best thing will be to play the Daily Cup, because you'll be facing players from all around the world on a track that is known only each day. So the track of the day map. So you'll be able to see how good you are against other people, and you can do that every day, so you can maybe see your progression on the whole week, and maybe at the end of the week you'll be able to beat people that you wouldn't even think about on the early state of the week.
I like that. I like that kind of like, because a lot about kind of competition is that progression and the sense of moving up in the rankings, but also of like this person is always the one who I see a few places ahead of me. Like you're chasing them, you want to track them down. Now this is our last race. Is that right?
Yeah, last round, and Shorty is second, so I have quite some pressure, to be quite honest.
The pressure is on. They're coming around these not quite slalom, but he's in there. Oh,
yeah.
Yep, coming up around this big, it's like S turn.
He's still first. I believe in him.
He can feel the positive vibes coming from you.
You can see the slow motion vlog there. Just quite fun also to watch. And he's finishing first. Great.
There he goes.
I got it.
It looks like Omar backed the right racer. Shorty coming in with a victory. And Omar, thank you so much for talking about competitive Trackmania. Anything else you want to mention before we wrap it up?
Well, obviously, thank you for having me, and thanks to the players for playing this competition. Thanks to all the closed alpha players we had, because they help us truly to make this game better, and we're pretty happy with the Trackmania we have right now. So yeah, just play Trackmania, it's free, and have fun on it. I'm pretty sure you'll have, and yeah, that's it.
All right, Omar, thank you so much. Trackmania, folks, it's out now on Epic Games Store and Uplay. Go ahead and download it. Get in there and get racing. Now, our time with Trackmania is coming to a close, and it's on to the next show. Ubisoft Forward pre-show is starting momentarily. We're going to take a look at Ghost Recon Breakpoint, The Crew 2, Trials Rising, new stuff coming from all these games. You're not going to want to miss it. And then when the countdown timer hits 0, it's Ubisoft Forward, the big showcase of the latest and greatest upcoming games from Ubisoft, followed by an in-depth look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We got a lot more in store for you, so let's go ahead and throw it over to Kat.
Thank you, Chris, and hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ubisoft Forward pre-show. The main event will be starting in just 30 minutes and will feature news from our unreleased games, including Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Hyperscape, and more.
Now to warm up, we have 30 minutes of updates from the games you're already playing, like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Trials Rising, and The Crew 2, as well as some exclusive behind the scenes so you can get to know us a little better. So let's kickstart this pre-show with an update from Just Dance 2020. If you're a Just Dance fan and want to win some cool swag, head over to the Just Dance website for all the details. For our next segment, we have something a little different than what we usually do. A few years ago, Ubisoft created the Ubisoft Entrepreneurs Lab and the Open Innovation Accelerator. This allowed us to create partnerships and synergies with indie studios from across the industry.
And since so many industry events were canceled this year, we wanted to showcase several indie projects and teams that Ubisoft has been collaborating with over the past few years.
Our first indie showcase is developer Machine & Mensch, who is working on the Curious Expedition 2. Let's hear more from the team behind the game.
Hi, my name is Masha and I'm a game designer at Machine Mensch. Machine Mensch is a small and diverse indie game studio with 8 wonderful employees based here in Berlin. Our connection with Ubisoft came through a program dedicated to create ever-growing relationships with independent developers, to talk about and share expertise and knowledge. We work together in mutual respect, which we much appreciated.
We're working on the Curious Expedition 2, which is the sequel to our expedition simulation game. This time, the game is set in Paris in 1899, during the World Expo when the Eiffel Tower was built. But more importantly, you will be traveling to these mysterious islands, you will be interacting with unknown tribes, fight dangerous beasts, find many secrets. Thanks to our procedural technology, every time you play, it's a new world, new characters, and a new storyline that you shape with each of your interactions until it becomes really your own unique adventure.
And we will have more indie guests coming up later in the pre-show, so stick around. Now, a while ago, Ubisoft released its very first live-action TV show on Apple TV+, and it's a comedy about making video games called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. And to keep the show authentic, Ubisoft's Red Storm studio went above and beyond by creating a playable sandbox for the game that is actually featured in the show. So now let's head behind the scenes for an exclusive look.
This is the home of Clancy.
Okay, it's very Clancy-esque.
Yes.
I get it. All right, now I'm starting to understand.
Right.
I too keep all my awards at the front of my office. It's entirely empty.
So Mythic Quest is Ubisoft's first live-action comedy. The whole show is about a team that is developing a super successful MMORPG, and it's about all the people within the game development team and their relationships and what they go through in creating one of the world's most successful games.
All right, incredible.
Thank you.
But are we sure that we're finished?
When we heard about what was going on, we weren't really sure if we were a great fit because we've always made shooters realistic. And we listened to the pitch and we were super excited about the idea. So we
¿Qué onda,
thought,
Spartans?
what does
¿Qué ha habido de nuevo
Ubisoft
por
have that
acá?
we could channel to fit this?
You're fucking me. Yes. You're fucking me.
Pero ya estamos en el pre-evento real. Hace rato tan solo estaban jugando como tal, pero ya estamos en el pre-evento. Y faltan 23 minutos para el evento real normal. Wow, ¿y eso qué es? Bueno, como les comentaba, sí o sí lo iban a subtitular como les digo. Por ahí había visto en el chat que esperan Halo Infinite. Spartans, este es el evento de Ubisoft. No va a haber nada de Halo. Déjenme publico por acá en Instagram y en varios lados que ya estamos en directo.
Viral disease in which people bleed out of their eyeballs first, then they bleed out of their anus, then they vomit and bleed out of their anus at the same time.
We set it up in such a way that you could trigger it in stages because we didn't know what the timing was going to be. The idea here is we can hit it and control the timing of when things are happening. So the next time you hit it, he starts puking out blood. And at this point, we would probably have the camera start panning back like this. And then you can hit the button again, and you can see the blood ocean itself has started coming in. And so now they're all bleeding out of the back end as well. And then the final is just everybody exploding in bloody.
Ese juego se ve muy loco, ¿no? Muy sangriento.
He wanted the skulls coming up and bobbing up and down in the water. So.
David, can we actually make this quick? I've got a lot of work to do stripping blood ocean out of everything.
Yeah. Releasing a disease into the game right before a global pandemic was not a great look.
Today was the first time we showed Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet to an audience. I've never seen it with more than 6 or 7 people in a room. And so I wanted to make sure that we gave them an opportunity to
Déjame seguir compartiendo en directo en Facebook, en Twitter.
Love letter to them, to the industry itself.
I was a little nervous, I gotta be honest. I thought it was gonna be a little cringy, but it was fantastic.
I thought there was a lot of truth and in the humor.
It's about time that we had a show about our industry.
You could tell when the audience was laughing, when they really hit something that felt like the game industry.
I think it's brilliant.
All right, so if you have not yet seen it, the first season of Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet is available right now on Apple TV Plus, and a full version of this making of will be coming out over the next few days. All right, now it is time to
Faltan 20 minutos para el evento real.
Engines as we head out to Lyon, France to visit our team at Ubisoft Ivory Tower to get an update on The Crew 2.
Hi everyone, and welcome to The Crew 2 at Ubisoft Forward. My name's James Reese, I'm a community developer here at Ivory Tower, and I'll be your host for this quick glimpse into all the exciting things we have going on over the next few weeks. It's been 2 years already since launch, with 6 major updates and hundreds of vehicles under our belt. And our latest update, Summer in Hollywood, only went live a few days ago. Let's have a look.
Vale, vamos a ver qué comenta el chat por acá. ¿Qué onda, Gohan González? ¿Cómo estás? Un saludo. ¿Qué onda, Pepe Chido? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenido, Luis Fernando. Google TV. ¿Cómo que Google TV? ¿Qué me perdí? Mientras estaba compartiendo el directo.
So thank you to the Crew Social, Exchange, Discord, Reddit, and all of our players. We've got a little something for you in-game to show our appreciation.
Puras cosas de Halo Infinite, el hype. El 23 de julio, Spartan, no lo olviden, acá en Hello Games para ese evento de Halo Infinite. ¿Qué onda, Rich? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué onda, Fallo? Melina, Aventura, un saludo. Alonso, el directo de Ubisoft empezó hace como 40 minutos, algo así. Faltan 18 para que comience el evento real. Ahorita estamos viendo un pre-evento.
In case you missed it, make sure to boot up the game right now to unlock the amazing 69 Volkswagen Beetle that was just shown in the video. And stay tuned in the near future for more info about Year 3 of The Crew 2. Our next video is from our second indie guest, Bossa Studios, who will be injecting a delirious dose of fun.
Uf, no saltaré ese directo de tu canal, así es, Pepe. Ese directo ahí todos tienen que estar porque vamos a sortear una Xbox One X y varios premios más, y vamos a ver gameplay de la campaña de Halo Infinite, así que va a estar muy épico ese día. 23 de julio, Spartan, no lo olviden. ¿Qué onda, el pollito? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué onda, Carlos? ¿Cómo estás, Carlos? Juan Serrano, un saludo. ¿Y este juego qué es? Este juego ya existía, que era como... Sí, ¿no? ¿Ya existía? ¿O es otro? ¿Qué onda, Duber? ¿Cómo estás? Un saludo. Alexis, Janes, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué onda, José Manuel? No te preste de gran cosa. Faltan 17 minutos para que empiece el evento. Se ve súper loco ese juego.
Everything players create can then be uploaded and shared with the community, and here surgery really is just the tip of the iceberg. During our closed alpha period, we've seen players create
Así es, Pepe Chido. El 23 aquí nos vemos. Si todavía no están participando para la Xbox One X, abajo en la descripción de este directo encontrarán el link para participar para el día 23. Así que participen, Spartans. Y no lo olviden, es muy importante que estén aquí presentes el día 23. Por si ganan la Xbox, lo reclamen. ¿Tú eres Auronplay? No, yo no soy Auronplay, Kevin.
But now, our next segment is about an Easter egg in The Division 2. So let's go behind the scenes with the devs from Ubisoft Massive Studio in Malmö, Sweden to find out more.
¿Qué armas pienso que saldrán en Halo Infinite? Bienvenido, Carlos Axel. Suscríbanse, Spartans, y denle like al directo. ¿Qué armas? Pero yo creo que las que ya conocemos, pero al igual y cambian un poquito de diseño. No creo que vaya a haber así como que nuevas armas y esas cosas, ya que pues 343 quiere mantener como la esencia de Halo, así que dudo que vayan a implementar nuevas armas. ¿Qué onda, Elena? ¿Cómo estás? Juan, no te dejan tener redes. Pues podrías, aunque sea, abrirlas para el sorteo, decir que nada más vas a participar en un sorteo, si es que tienes que pedir permiso, y ya está. Bienvenido, Iván. ¿Qué onda, Warmaster? Un saludo.
Where these two ducks are sitting on a bench having a date together, and there's another one somewhere where he's sitting with an umbrella hiding from the rain. The idea of the ducks is similar to the rest of our storytelling, where we're trying to add some hope into the world, because you're coming in as a division agent to try and save what you can and rebuild.
Bienvenidos, Spartans, los que van llegando. Ya faltan 14 minutos para que dé inicio el evento. Aquí lo podrán ver en HD, subtitulado. ¿Qué onda, Andrés Fonseca? Like, suscripción, gracias. Andrés, ¿cómo crees que sean el rifle Brute? ¿Si aparecerá? Sí aparecerán los Brute de los desterrados, eso es ya casi seguro, y de hecho ya está casi confirmado. Pero ¿cómo serán sus rifles? Pues ni idea. Ojalá y salga el cañón Brute. ¿Se acuerdan de ese de Halo 2? En Halo 3 salió, no recuerdo, pero en Halo 2 me gustó mucho el cañón Brute. Ojalá y salga ese. Un saludo, Warmaster 360. Recuerden, Spartans, que vamos a hacer stream al diario en Nono Live. Nos encuentran como Halo Games. Ahí seguido estoy haciendo directos e invitándolos a jugar. El rifle de batalla y Magnum siempre saldrán. Sí, es como que la esencia de Halo. Obviamente no pueden faltar. Jorge Torres, un saludo. Vamos retrasados, pero como por 20 segundos, Spartan, no es tanto. Es como que lo normal de los directos de YouTube.
We actually put Tommy the Teddy Bear into the game. Well, Tommy the Teddy Bear is a trauma teddy mentioned in
¿Qué onda, Rodrigo?
But the bear itself actually was not in the game. With episode 3,
Marco López, no puedo hacer nada para el retraso de los 20 segundos, pero creo que no es nada. 20 segundos.
It's a nice little exciting moment when you kind of open Reddit and you see someone's found the thing that you kind of just snuck in under the radar and no one really knows about.
Así es, Stranger, aquí nos veremos cuando sea el tráiler de Halo Infinite y el directo 23 de julio. Participen por la Xbox One X, Spartans, que vamos a estar regalando ese día. Tienen que estar presentes ese día aquí, Spartans. ¿No tienes Nono Live, José? Pues se lo pueden descargar rápidamente en su celular. Lo encuentran en la tienda de Google de su celular.
Hey everybody, I'm Rodrigue, marketeer at Thunder Lotus. We're an indie studio based out of Montreal, Canada, and makers of the games Jotun, Sundered, and our new game Spiritfarer, which is due out later this year.
¿Qué onda, Game Online Extraterrestres? Un saludo. No puedes ganar ya que no tienes redes, Juan. Bueno, no te preocupes, aún así te invito a que participes entrando al directo de ese día, el de 23, porque ahí voy a estar regalando varios otros premios aparte del Xbox. Pero ese día ya les diré cómo ganarlos, así que estén ahí presentes. ¿Qué onda, Nitro76? ¿Cómo estás? Ya faltan 11 minutos, Spartans, para ver el evento oficial. Un saludo a Jorge Arturo y a Carol. ¿Qué onda, Miguel Padilla? Un saludo. Melina Aventura, un saludo. No te deja entrar a Ubisoft, pues para eso estamos acá, Spartans, para ver el directo.
You're going to spend relaxing quality time with them, you're going to create lasting memories, but ultimately you're going to have to learn how to say goodbye to your cherished friends. It's a game that's new.
Elena Cervantes, ¿cómo estás, Elena?
Really special. We can't wait to share it with the world later this year. So look for it soon on
Y ese juego parece una caricatura.
Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch and Xbox Game Pass. Thanks a lot and cheers.
Vale, Johan, acá te esperamos. Mantén el directo abierto. 10 minutos.
Trials Rising came out last year, but I think the team from our Red Link studio in Helsinki has a little surprise coming to the game for the fans of the franchise. So let's take a look.
Bienvenidos a los que van llegando, Spartan, denle like al directo, suscríbanse. Ya falta menos de 10 minutos. Aquí lo van a ver subtitulado, Spartan. ¿Qué onda, Duber? Un saludo. En este evento dirán qué día sale Valhalla. A lo mejor Alonso, a lo mejor sí digan la fecha exacta. Que por ahí había visto que se filtró la fecha y va a ser como en noviembre. No recuerdo qué día, como el 10, 9 de noviembre, algo así creo. Así que a lo mejor eso significa que por esos días va a estar saliendo la Series X, al igual que Halo Infinite. Ya que recordemos que la consola y el nuevo Halo van a salir al mismo tiempo. ¿Qué onda, Ángel Gil? Un saludo.
By far the longest track we've ever put in a Trials game. The Giga Track will take you across many different environments from the iconic
¿Qué onda, Kart? Un saludo, crack.
Maybe you want to tell them.
The Giga Track is like life. It starts and it ends and it's long. Depends how you end.
¿Hay algo en específico para hacer por el concurso de Xbox? Sí, Chris. En la descripción de este directo encontrarás un link, entra en él y sígueme en las redes sociales que aparecen. Y eso es todo, tan solo ya nos esperaríamos para el 23 de julio, aquí te espero, crack, porque el ganador tiene que estar presente para reclamar el premio. ¿Qué onda, Powdery? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenido, llegas tarde, pues no tanto, ya está por terminar el prevento, pero ya faltan 8 minutos para que comience el real. Denny, es que yo lo estoy viendo en su cuenta de Twitch de Latinoamérica para verlo subtitulado. Y me gusta verlo a través de mi Xbox, ya que así no nos da lag, ya que el Xbox se dedica a recibir el directo y mi PC se dedica a enviarles el directo a ustedes. Así que no quiero reunir las dos tareas en mi PC, ya que a lo mejor podría darnos lag. Así que así me gusta.
And from the beginning, you will be able to fully customize them.
¿Qué onda, Chris Álvarez?
This customization includes all of the physical attributes, as well as
Y
gear,
error al iniciar, Miguel, ¿en qué te da error?
Your teammates can be tweaked just as much as your main character. Just like Nomad, your teammates will adapt.
Elena Cervantes, un saludo por quinta vez, crack.
And they will always follow your own behavior. If you decide to go stealth, they will equip silencers and crouch.
Por cierto, por ahí hubo un nuevo miembro, Esau Konu. No sé si sigue presente por acá Esau, pero gracias por unirte, crack. Ya saben que las donaciones, si los miembros del canal se agradecen, y los miembros tienen beneficios dentro del canal, como los salude en todos los videos. Tecno, ¿a quién le da error? ¿De qué están hablando? ¿Cuál error? En Ubisoft no deja. A lo mejor y se saturó de gente, no lo sé, pero para eso estamos nosotros, Spartans, para verlo en español y en HD, no se preocupen. No deja entrar. Yo creo que sí se habrá saturado. Siempre pasa eso. Cuando hay mucho hype, hay mucha gente queriendo ver una sola cosa, las páginas se caen. ¿Qué onda, Andrés? ¿Cómo estás? ¿De qué va a ser tu contenido en Nono Live? Súper variado. Como les digo, voy a estar transmitiendo ahí al diario aproximadamente a las 6 de la tarde, hora de la Ciudad de México. Voy a estar jugando Halo, algunas veces Fortnite, algunas veces, yo que sé, Minecraft, lo que queramos. Saquito, wea, gracias por unirte como miembro nivel Ground, Spartan. Bienvenido. Gracias por el apoyo, Saquito. Espera tus saludos al final de los videos. Saquito, bienvenido, Spartan. Muchísimas gracias.
Finally, the teammates will also be your best allies in any vehicle, especially on the road and during high-stake pursuits. The teammates will be available for all solo Ghost Recon Breakpoint players.
A ver si ahorita se actualiza lo de nuevo miembro. Lo tengo la actualización automáticamente, pero luego se tarda bastante en actualizar. Mi gamer tag de Xbox es Hello Games MX, todo junto.
Hey Ghosts, I'm Grace from the Ghost Recon team.
Estamos a 4 minutos, Spartans. Mi nombre de Fortnite es igual que el de Xbox, Hello Games MX. ¿Qué onda, Warmaster? Tú nunca faltas, yo lo sé, crack. Bienvenido. Gracias por el apoyo, Warmaster. Hasta el launcher se cayó. LOL. Sí, porque por ahí estaban regalando algunos juegos. Ahorita que estábamos viendo el prevento, habían algunos códigos para los juegos. Yo creo que por eso se cayó, ¿no? Porque la mayoría intentó reclamar el juego y se les cayó seguro. Fue como lo que pasó con... ¿Con quién fue? Con Steam. Cuando regalaron el GTA V, ¿recuerdan? ¿Quién logró reclamar el GTA V? Bienvenido, Not. Suscríbanse, Spartans. Yo sí lo reclamé, pero ahorita no lo tengo instalado, ya que no tengo demasiado espacio. Pero ahí lo tengo. Andrea Largo, un saludo. Gracias por estar por acá. Tres minutos, Spartans. Cuando inicie ya me voy a callar, le voy a subir el volumen al máximo y a disfrutar. Por cierto, Spartan, no se olviden de seguirme en las redes sociales. Me encuentran en Twitter como Hello Games _YouTube. Me encuentran en Facebook como Hello Games o Hello Games MX. Y en Instagram como Hello Games MX también. Así que síganme, Spartans. Ahí subo contenido antes de que lo suba en YouTube. Hago encuestas, me gusta estar en comunicación con ustedes. Yo lo reclamé en PC, Chris, ¿eso está bien? Pepe Chido, reitero, aquí no vamos a ver Halo ya que es el evento de Ubisoft. Bienvenido, Verdura. Vamos a ver Halo el día 23 de julio, o sea, de este mes. Aquí no vamos a ver nada de Halo, Spartans. Cuando Halo 3 para PC sale el 14 de este mes, pasado mañana. Miguel Padilla, gracias por el apoyo, crack. Yo sé que siempre estás por acá, gracias. Un minuto, Spartans. ¿Nos traerás cosas de Halo 3 para PC? Pues ya traje el Insight de Halo 3 para PC, pero no sé si seguís trayendo más de PC de Halo 3. Un saludo, Mark. A lo mejor y traiga sobre la nueva temporada, sobre las skins de Halo 6 y eso. No olviden, Spartans, el día 23 nos vemos aquí en Hello Games para el directo de Xbox, donde vamos a ver al fin el tráiler de Halo Infinite, acerca de su campaña ya como tal. Y no olviden participar por la Xbox One X. Para participar tan solo entren en el link que encuentran en la descripción. Oh, ven esa niña, toda una pro. LOL, y tocan ahí con los pies estos chinos locos. Parecen chinos, quién sabe qué sea esta chica. Así que participen, Spartans, por esa Xbox One X que vamos a estar sorteando el 23. Y vamos a iniciar ese día a las 8 AM hora de la Ciudad de México para hacer algunas dinámicas, para estarles regalando algunos códigos, algunos premios. Así que aquí los quiero ver, Spartans, así que ya estamos a nada. Así que a disfrutar, Spartans, vemos que tiene Ubisoft para nosotros.
This is Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft. Explore our worlds.
Meet the devs. See the games.
Join us.
Hi everyone, I'm Neelam Kumar and I'm very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Mageed. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what the hackers of DedSec are getting into.
The illegal paintings spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the last few weeks across London are not the work of several people as was originally believed, but the work of an individual. The criminal, suspected to have links with the terrorist group DedSec, is masked and supposed to be dangerous. Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out, because I was not a foreigner. Then, they came for the protesters, and I did not speak out, because I was not a protester. Then they came for the journalists, and I did not speak out, because I was not a journalist. And then they came for street artists, but I did not speak out, because I am not a street artist. And I realised that eventually they'd come for me. and there would be no one left to speak for me.
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. Right. This way, not to be able to do what you're passionate about.
After a long night, London is in chaos. The main arteries through the city are blocked. Hundreds of heavily armed Albion...
Well, well, well. Welcome to the Resistance. There's a welcome gift for our new members.
But the disappearance of the criminal...
You could have told me it was a bloody costume party.
Try it on.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old London taxi driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been asked not to approach him. The authorities advise all residents...
I'm Clint Hawking.
Clint has been a longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you, you help them with their problem, you play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you because they're, heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
Our London town. A modern metropolis. Built on history and prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to build it up, and one night to tear it all down.
Oh my God. Listen up. Get all your units to move in and lock down the city.
With London under attack by a mysterious terrorist, the government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's kindly stepped up to establish order.
Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even myself, to jeopardize this.
He will stop at nothing to permanently control the city.
London will be the first city in the world to be made truly safe.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this fair city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
This microchip is scary, I know, but I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I?
You made me a slave.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers. With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team. Like him. Her. Or even her. Everyone can become your next secret weapon. In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass, and that means breaking into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Dear God, my eyes.
Badly?
Zip up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
Like everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy. He can even call his own cargo drone. Perfect for gate crashing, when you're not invited. And who needs a regular old gun when you have a bloody nail gun?
Come here, you soidoid shitboy. Jesus Christ, what is that thing?
Perhaps we could approach this mission differently. If you'd rather keep your distance, we've got you covered. Amy is a drone expert.
What have we here?
A real tech connoisseur.
Hate spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aimed, she fired, she hit.
I'm reading incoming drones.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor. And if you are not into direct confrontation, there are more ways than one to get the job done. Recruiting an Albion officer like Brielle here might be challenging, but it'll get you inside restricted Albion areas.
Don't mind me, just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
However, do anything suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
You've been approved for entry.
We're missing the human element here. I can get the Defence Minister on the line right now.
Well, if you feel you must.
Criminals running our streets, illegals threatening our families, the police commissioner himself, assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
That put another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty. He does have a slight drinking problem, though. And he's passed out. We'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional. It's almost crass to call him a hitman. Some might even call him an artist. here's the bastard responsible. Done and dusted.
Not bad if I do say so, innit?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero. So get out there, find the best recruits, and build your resistance. It's time to take back London.
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city teeming with unique locales and characters has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Munt to tell us more.
My name is Amanda Munt. I'm a level artist on Watch Dogs Legion at Ubisoft Toronto. Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because we do get the freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little details we want to depict. And we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're assigned to. I have the capacity to hide things and, you know, like small little Easter eggs. In AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2. And there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So I was fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London. So no matter where I dropped them in the city, they would go, oh my God, this feels like Camden. This feels like Southwark. This feels like Westminster. When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, you know, builds these worlds with care. I love it.
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Three, two, one, brawl!
And now, whether you need a Tom Clancy action fix on the go or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming, we've got you covered.
The target is being held on the ground floor. Go, go, go!
Mount Chain is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound, danger close.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP imminent.
Get back in your cell! Hey, take this.
Don't make me regret this.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
In December 2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege. A game built on a strong vision, creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager et dire aux joueurs, ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer shooter. Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
Was that? A hack in the hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there. Let me get you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions. So, here we are. 10 billion souls living in the crush of the megacities. But the people at Prisma changed everything. they gave everyone a way out. The Hyperscape. In the Hyperscape, the biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone. If you get good at Crown Rush, it can change your life. But strange things have been happening lately. Rumors of people getting hurt. Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of Hyperscape. And we have to find it. Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out. And for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the edge of the future. To the Hyperscape.
I'm JC, Creative Director on Hyperscape.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch. Seeing it grow, adding ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the Hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcadia. Then we also introduce a lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, to go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield. So a lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with. And finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening. So for me, it's really exciting because right now, as we speak, we're launching the open beta, and so it's going to be available for free-to-play for all PC players worldwide. And I really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can expect.
Watch and learn how it's done. Perfecto.
Showtime.
That's mine. Let's show them what I'm made of. Go time. Watch closely. Here we go. この調子。
The digital world of the Hyperscape gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Ana Maria Musca is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
My name is Ana Maria Musca. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base, but even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos that we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's gonna happen in the game. We're very excited to see it in people's hands.
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Hey everyone, Phil Spencer from Xbox. With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery. So you will get the absolute best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
All right, we know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
My name is Julien Laferrière, and I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did, to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time. And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just coming by boat in England and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors.
Shields!
And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face-to-face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings. We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal, to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a Viking. Today we raid, that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle. Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers. At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map. It will serve as a record of the allies you have made, and a guide for future opportunities. The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game. Every archetype offers a unique challenge. Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of fallen warriors. To face these attacks, you must find and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with a Viking harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes. Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks. Customize your fighting style as you see fit, and become a legendary Viking warrior. All combinations of weapons are available to dual wield, including two shields. Not all situations call for violence. In this new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt. As Eivor is not welcome in England, you may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds, and slip past watchful eyes, an unseen hunter among the people. From capital cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure. Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify your equipment. Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement. The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
Ravens, show no mercy!
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
Today we will reclaim her. Today we for your land. And tomorrow we rebuild.
For East
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise.
Thank you, man.
With unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Ninth century England is truly unlike anything the franchise has seen before. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today, and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games. But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
Fuerzas ultrapenetrantes, estamos cansados de los farsantes, de los...
It's beautiful, amigo. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Papa.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Breathe, Diego. Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me. Now, I am El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves, they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe, will be wrong. They will answer you with screams, call you evil, a monster, and give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has 2 basic parts. Our people. And you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom. Do you understand now? Prove it.
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward. Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf Magid, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone, this is Philippe Bergeron, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Berg Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story. And so here Eivor, our Viking raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Berg Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
So who exactly is Rued, and why does Eivor sort of want to pick a fight with him?
Basically, Rued comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before, Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated in a previous quest, and so here this is revenge, but also accomplishing your ultimate goal.
So Fizz, as you're talking, we're seeing some of the combat of Valhalla. Can you tell us a little bit about the changes to combat this time around?
We wanted to basically add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there. And we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So it sort of fits into that, the time and the character.
Oswald. He lives. Oswald lives!
Eivor, is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? 2 Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson? If this swine is your prize, come and get him.
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued within our sights. What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued. She has her allies. They can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles, actually.
Your battle is not yet won, Oswald.
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached just a little bit more stealthy and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your playstyle.
So we're not only fighting Rued here, but also his pet wolf, right?
One of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first, just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the combat. Now Rued will have extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate his wolf, but I think having one opponent less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy in the whole.
Your efforts. Only the cold dark of Niflheim waits you.
Valhalla is my destiny. That fate will not be met today. Why does they should be roomed, Wolfkist? Made thralls, not treated as equals. We are better than this. Than all of them.
Do not drag me down to the sewage you wallow in.
Why does a Dane fight tooth and nail for a Saxon? You'd throw in with these wastrels? These Argiv swine?
Eivor, no! He should be tried before God, a lawful assembly.
All right, so we've defeated Rued, we've freed Oswald. What comes next?
Oswald, in this case, prefers for Rued to be kept alive, and so you basically have to choose, are you going to go against his wishes or stay true to your nature?
So we have this choice to make, but before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit because we just did this big, grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
Right, so when coming up to an assault, it's a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a stealthy Viking, eliminating some of the assets, which ultimately would be a strategy. You can do that and you'll have some of the ingredients or of the assets there that will have been sabotaged, but you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a Fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Rued.
Defending East Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
Pretty words, Dane. But the men of Theovard have their own battles to fight.
So we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause. But first, we sort of need to do him a favor. Is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory. So I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side. When Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system, you have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
Fizz, we just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the eagle vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When the player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So we'll have arrows, like health consumables that are in there. So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your weapon. And so depending what your preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then you can go and choose, I'm gonna fight with this weapon and invest heavily into that.
Not only are we looting weapons, but we see something here called the Book of Knowledge. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for the players. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world, so again, to promote exploration and discovery. As you travel through the world and you explore locations, you can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in, put into your loadout, then go into the different locations or the different quests in the game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
Now we've recaptured this village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do with Rued.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you. Thank you.
Eivor decided to let him live. Rued is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your road to Valhalla, so he was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation. Obviously, all of these decisions come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Rued's life, but
what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her, and obviously if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory, Eivor comes in here, meets Oswald. The problems he had with Rued are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Rued and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
So, Fizz, we've completed the assault. We've gotten our hands dirty with some combat, taken down Rued. We have this big open region of East Anglia, so before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do you say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
So we see a cat here with a speech bubble above it, and you best believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm gonna talk to a cat.
Yeah, these are some of our some of my favorite moments actually in the game, where we put out a whole bunch of events throughout the territory. And it sort of rewards, again, exploration, going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the quests sort of deal more with like politics and warfare, and this shows a slightly more human nature to her. So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more. And so here, basically, like you're trying to help a kid with his cat, and ultimately get that cat to sort of join your crew as a cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it. Perfect.
So yeah, as you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat basically walking around your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
You know, speaking of the Viking longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
Yeah, so starting out on this project, I think the Viking longship is one of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game, where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have a similar version of that?
Yeah, so this is something we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into the ship. So basically, as the player is going around, you could decide to have your skald sort of sing a song for you as you row down the river. But you can also decide, depending on who the raiders are in your ship, to hear more about their life. So you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
So here we're seeing a bit of a different view. What exactly are we looking at?
We had this on previous Assassins, where you would like ride on your horse, and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship, where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
So, you know, speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry, where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other. The idea was to try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Here's the silver. Now begin.
To all those whom I speak, they say Eivor's a clod.
Then you're speaking to fools and their knowledge is flawed.
Well...
How exactly do you go about being successful in one of these?
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
Interesting. Interesting. Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
Oh, you looked out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven Clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
Yeah, that's it. So we gave Eivor a fishing line, so you can actually throw out a line and go catch some fish. This is used basically to play into our new health loop, where the player will lose health in the world, and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here, like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests. So it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just, again, take it all in. So this is what we call one of our offering altars. So the idea is that you find these around the world and you make offerings to it. So it'll take like animal parts and stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here what you're seeing though is sort of like a fancy version of it, where as you do your offering you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff. So it was just a way for us to sort of showcase that like the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some little events. So it's our way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just, you know, the pure rar Viking or the politician. Because you can imagine at some point that will grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics.
But your stealth needs work.
We were close.
And it also showcases like a different facet of the world at the same time. It's not only Eivor. So it just widens the breadth of the stories that we can tell.
So who exactly are these two children?
These are kids of East Anglia. They are going through tough times with whatever Rued's been doing to the territory. And so they're just here trying to survive and basically exploit the people that are there to make offerings.
It was kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and you know, after you talk to them, you have the choice of helping them. You can, you know, give them food, give them some money, or you know, maybe just say, "Hey, good luck, on your way."
Yeah, and then this is something we also wanted to do a lot. Like, so here we're doing an event, we do it in quests as well, but we want to give a lot of this agency into players' hands so that they can sort of shape Eivor a little bit. Who she is, so it represents them a little bit more, and they can roleplay that a little bit better. And again, it just gives her like a little bit more humanity in these moments.
This is what large walkers should do. Provide for small walkers.
Here, large walker.
A necklace?
Yes, it's a St. Martin seal. You're welcome here anytime, large walker. You're one of us now. Visit us, okay?
I will. Take care now, small green walkers.
So I think AC veterans might recognize this here, but what exactly is Eivor chasing down?
Yeah, so here you're seeing Eivor running down one of our tattoo images. So this is challenging the player on free run abilities, but also for fans of the series, sort of pulling at their heartstrings for some beloved features.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes. By collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos everywhere. So again, another form of expression, and it's sort of to represent that Viking culture.
Fizz, one of my favorite things when I was just out there exploring East Anglia was coming upon a house or a building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there, there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and, found a way in.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where we wanted the exploration to make you feel smarter. So we played a lot with puzzle solving, so making sure that every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore, it's not given to you. You still have to work for it a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better feeling for the exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind any of these locations, which we've crafted. So it gave us a little bit more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of a story.
A poor victim of someone's fury.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the world, I was just wandering and came across this clearing and found this kind of morbid altar.
Yeah, so this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores, she can find altars like this, and by interacting with them, here it's a trap that's been set by this character named Regan. Now, there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will. And basically have this awesome boss fight in the middle of the swamps. And so here the abilities that you see Regan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning in that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter. And so that's sort of what lets us go into the realm of the weird.
My rage, spirit of my father's rage, fill me!
Enough of this cracking bullshit. Arrest your demons.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyrium.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it is still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
So we just had a really exciting, really intense boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming now.
Yeah, it's all about pacing yourself with the highs and the lows. So here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world, will find these sort of meditative areas where you have a pile of rocks that you could just stack on top of one another using physics. And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks. But really, it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and building something.
Together we stack stones into cairns.
These?
Yes. Think of this as a test of mind and wit. Stack the cairn stones high and wide into any shape you like.
I mean, you can spend as much time as you want building these things, making them as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure like a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there. And so that's yours, right? And until the moment where you come back and you want to build a new one, it's sort of cool that we were able to give that to players to express themselves.
At this point in the demo, we've explored East Anglia, we've met some children, we've broken into a house, we fought a boss, we built a cairn. I think now it's finally time to go and head off to Oswald's wedding.
Yeah, so this is the moment it's all been building up to. By the moment you get into the territory, it's sort of like mentioned by Oswald that he's trying to get married with his Dane lady. And so as you go through the arc, that's sort of like the underlying thread. Really, it's about Rued creating turmoil in the territory and helping Oswald sort of get above that and show that he's a good leader. And so you finally, after going through all of that arc, finally get these two together, go through their wedding, and you're invited to attend the ceremony. And then all the activities and fun times that comes afterwards.
Yeah, as much as we've seen the brutal side of England, it's nice to see, the joyous side of it as well.
Yeah, and it's something we really wanted to play on in Valhalla, where being a Viking is not only about being a raider or a warrior. I mean, there's revelry, there's feasting, there's partying that goes, and like if someone knows how to party, it's a Viking. And so here, this is one of our opportunities to sort of show what a sort of Viking gathering is. And what's cool here is it's a good alliance of Norse culture with Saxon culture, sort of smashing those two things together and building bridges.
Yeah, I mean, what's a wedding without some drunk archery, right?
Yeah, so like, anything can happen in a Viking event, right? Eivor, yeah, here, just get drunk, shoot some arrows.
Barely a challenge.
Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding race. The king and his bride against all!
My king! He...
So here we see the decision I made to spare Rued came back to bite us.
Yep, that's the decision you made, coming back. So as we said before, all of your decisions have consequences, and this is a big one.
I challenge you.
I accept.
You're basically presented with the option to sort of step in for Oswald, fight the fight for him, or let him go and fight his own fight.
Yeah, personally, I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what she started.
Plank by plank, and a dead king cannot keep his oaths. Let me finish this.
Oswald, you gutless Arya swine! I'll slay the wolf-kissed, then hang you with your own tongue.
How does this encounter with Rued differ from our previous fight with him?
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him. And so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly earlier on in the fight. So it's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you. And so this is a fight to the death. And of course here, like, this is a decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have let Oswald fight his own fight and prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Rued, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion. But ultimately, in all scenarios, you still have an alliance with Oswald. He's proven to be the right leader for this territory and to be a good ally for you.
Anglia a great service. I promised you an alliance, and now you have it.
And one day I will need you to make good on that alliance.
So we're about to take off from the wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check up on her friend Finner.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very early on. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on the longship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet and bring them along for adventures.
Together. I'll gather my things.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. Fizz, thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Everybody, thanks for joining us. My name is Eric Pope. I'm the Senior Community Developer on Hyperscape.
And I'm Graham Jennings. I'm the Senior Producer on Hyperscape. Hyperscape's now in its open beta phase, so you can go to Uplay and download it directly.
So, a little while back, we recorded a match for you so we could walk through.
¿Qué onda, Spartans? ¿Cómo están? Gracias a los que se quedaron hasta este punto, Spartans. Ya se acabó el evento. Ahorita lo que estamos viendo, pues realmente no entiendo qué estamos viendo. Ahorita estábamos viendo un poquito más de gameplay de Valhalla. Y ahorita vamos a ver, supongo que un poco más de gameplay de los demás juegos de Ubisoft. ¿Qué les pareció el evento, Spartans? Me encantó bastante cuando hablaron de Valhalla y de Far Cry.
Usually have a few more friends if you go to a landmark. So in this case though, he's gone outside and he's found a supply crate. So he's starting to loot these instead. So he's looking.
¿Qué onda, Pepe? Gracias por estar hasta por acá. Así que bueno, ¿qué les parece si ya terminamos el directo? Creo que ya lo más importante lo vimos. Ahorita tan solo son gameplays de los juegos que ya anunciaron, que ya vimos. Recuerden, Spartans, que nos vemos el día 23 de julio aquí en Hello Games para el evento de Xbox, donde vamos a estar sorteando una Xbox One X totalmente nueva. Para participar, tan solo entren en el link que aparece en la descripción de este directo para ver todos juntos ese gameplay de la campaña de Halo Infinite. ¿Qué onda, Vero? Un saludo. Sin más, Spartans, pues nos vemos en un próximo video. Tal vez suba video el día de mañana. Y recuerden que estoy en Nono Live, streameando al diario, aproximadamente a las 6 de la tarde. Cada día estamos haciendo stream ahí y los estoy invitando a jugar en Nono Live. Así que recuerden que el 23 va a ser un día importante para nosotros y aquí los quiero ver, Spartans, porque el hype va a estar bastante bueno. Sin más, pues nos vemos en un próximo video o directo. Like, suscríbanse. Adiós.
And you can be restored and brought back to life at one of those points.
So the action pretty much never stops in the game. If you're eliminated, you're not out.
You're not stuck watching a camera with someone else. You're still playing. You can inform your squad as to what's going on, and then you can call to be restored at one of those points. There's plenty of people, like you said, who ended up at Helios at the end. There's at least 3 other squads.
So we can also see when you have a teammate who needs a revive, it's called out on your...
Yeah, the green icon you can see at the side is him calling for a revive at this point. So Mr. Gomi's busy eliminating other players, which will cause more revive points to appear as well. This guy's low on health, so I don't think he's going to last long for that.
Okay, so I see once someone's eliminated, they drop a revive point that you can use.
What you'll actually see at the minute now is both Chimera and Elimination are both echoes, so it's just Mr. Gomi by himself at present time. So can he survive this and get the... going again. There's still a few other players in here, that's for sure. So that was the